Welcome back to the channel, and do I have something special for you guys. In this video, we're gonna do the toughest trails in the Alpine Loop, toughest and deadliest. We're gonna take on Poughkeepsie, and then we're gonna do Black Bear Pass, deadliest trail. Stay tuned. We're in it now. So we just filled up in Silverton and we are headed up Red Mountain Pass. I got Shanna.
Hi everybody.
And we got some breakfast. We got a sausage biscuit and a bacon croissant. And we are going to head up the trail. Now, today is a special day because I want to go up Poughkeepsie Gulch. And today's video is brought to you by Onyx Off-Road, obviously. And I downloaded the Onyx app. Just like always, I pre-downloaded my map. We're gonna go ahead and track everything so we know what we're doing. The cool thing about the Onyx app is I was able to get on there and see that Poughkeepsie Gulch opened up on June 30th, which is awesome because people claim it's the toughest trail. So I've been on the app and watching Black Bear Pass, and it said that Black Bear Pass is now open, which I was really not expecting Black Bear to be open this year after all the issues they had last year with people not being very bright. So, according to Onyx, we have Poughkeepsie Gulch open and Black Bear Pass open. Let's get this started and see what we can do. All right, so we just turned off the highway between Silverton and Ouray, and we are headed up Mineral Creek and Colt Engineer Pass. This side of the pass is the roughest part of the trail, headed up into Poughkeepsie. And so far I haven't had to lock in the hubs, but I'm taking it pretty easy too. And I got 40-inch tires.
All the time.
Just turned on Poughkeepsie Gulch Trail, and as you can see, you're already in four-wheel drive here. This is pretty rocky, pretty steep. You climb a lot of elevation right out the gate. This is one of those ones that you may want some higher clearance. I mean, pretty much everything else you can get away with in a stock rig, except probably these two trails, and that's why we're gonna take Poughkeepsie versus Black Bear. And if you're curious, that is how it's pronounced, is Poughkeepsie. But if you were to try to spell it, it's like Poughkeepsie. So, you know, I have all the respect for anybody that took English as their second language because, man, we make things tough. Is this not absolutely beautiful? Look at this. Or as our buddy Sean would say, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Do you think that's
Look
pretty?
at it. Oh yeah, look at it.
It's pretty.
So, this is the old lot mine, and as you can tell, they probably hit water, and that's what made them stop. I've actually been in some old mines before where the very end of it had a hole right where the drill bit size and just water shooting right out of it. Even though this water is coming straight out of the mountain, it's coming out of a mine. So you definitely don't want to drink this water. I've drank plenty of water off a mountain, but especially if you see any type of orange on the ground, some orange tinge, that's a huge no-no then. You definitely do not want to touch that water. I mean, you can touch it, but don't drink it. You definitely don't want to drink the water. Bridge. What does this say? Oh yeah, right there. It's like, hey dude, this stuff's dangerous in all the languages. So this is one of the things they do with a lot of mines right here. You can see that this was more than the opening. They've concreted this in and then backfilled the entrance up. The reason they do that is because people like to go exploring and then sometimes don't like to come back out. There's a trail called Iron Chest in kind of central Colorado up in Nathrop. I hiked in a mine there, jumped in it, and saw footsteps going in and no footsteps coming out. And me and my friends were the only vehicle up there. So kind of makes you wonder what that person got into because there was no footsteps coming out. So a little bit sketchy. That was many, many, many moons ago. I think I was a teenager then. There's a mine way up there. Who on earth would want to hike way up there to find gold? Not me. I just looked at my Onyx app to see what mine that was, and it's literally called Free Gold Mine. So maybe that's why they hiked up there, because, you know, you name something free gold, that's worth the hike then. That's still way up there, though. So we started really early in the morning so we can hopefully do both these trails in the same day. It's 8:50 right now and it is still cold up here. I mean, granted, we started at like 8,200 feet or something and we're almost at 11,000 feet. We've only went 4 miles. But I would say the temperature right now is probably sitting somewhere at like 40 degrees and it is mid-summer. There's another mine. You can see where they filled it in. And there's the tailings pile. Always the tailings piles by the mines. Very pretty though. We're getting close to tree line. Like, I legit have the heater running. I mean, we got the windows down and we're in t-shirts, but it's not warm.
It's perfect.
40 degrees Fahrenheit for midsummer. Pretty chilly. Look at all the bluebell flowers. The reason they're called bluebells is because that's how they look. No, just kidding. Because they hang down like a bell.
line.
I did. Right there. See it? Mining. Yep. So we're at about mile 5 heading up the trail, and we are taking the hardest way to do it, which is going up from the Uray side. And the rocks are real sloughy here. They're just shaly rocks, and they just they slip out from under your tires, and you just kind of squeaky, climb, squeaky, climb, just like that. It makes that noise. So far, everything we've done, I would do in a Jeep on 35s, but you want low tire pressure so you keep good traction. Then just pay attention to where your tires fall as they're slipping around. You can feel them slipping around on me right now, or at least see it. We have officially reached tree line, and right now we're at 11,340 feet.
Hi. Cue Australian accent. I'm out here on the trail, and I have found a Colt in his natural habitat. Are you having fun?
Yep.
He loves this so much.
That's a very bad Australian accent.
I can't do
You
it.
could at least say
Sam.
crocky.
Crocky.
There's
Is that how you do it? Ooh, a deer. You have to imagine the Australian accent in your brain.
Oh, okay. So right here is a Y in the trail, and if you were to go straight through here, you're taking a bypass. Basically what they want you to do if you have a stock rig or a lower lift rig, you don't have a whole lot of clearance, they want you to take this route right here. You take this bypass. If you have a lifted rig, then you stay on the trail and run this section up through the mountain right here. So I'm really excited to see what it looks like here. I haven't been here since I was a kid. I actually have never driven this trail. I rode this trail with my dad. Lockers. Yeah. It is so beautiful out here. It's just gorgeous. A few birds chirping, sound of a rad engine.
Mosquitoes are sucking my blood, man. Everything we do for the shot.
this spot looks cool. You got a rock climb there, and you got a rock climb here. Maybe we'll go ahead and do both. And then you have some jerks that did a bypass here after they were already told with signs that you have to have a high clearance rig. So fortunately, somebody's came in here and blocked these off. You can tell a lot of people turn around here, look. They're like, nope, I don't want none. We'll do that line. I'll come back down and then we'll do that one. Just for grins. That way you can't say I took the easier way, because I think they're both probably the same.
Ooh, got some air on that one.
That was sweet. I'd have still brought our JK on 35s with a limited slip, but I know I'd have had to give it a little more onion to make it up. But I believe that that right side is definitely harder, and there's winch points on both sides, so that made it pretty fun though. It's a fun little obstacle. I really enjoyed that, and it's definitely going to be tougher going up than it is down, because you can choose your down line. I believe I took the hardest line up and the hardest line down. Those rocks were definitely a little more slick than I expected. You gotta give it just a little bit of onion. Not a lot, but more than you normally would for Colorado for sure. Oh man, I know this is the Colorado choice of drink, but don't leave it on the trail. Colt Builds It is trash. You can get it at coltbuildsit.com, along with these sweet hats, shirts, and keychains. Shanna just asked me why I stopped and what I did. I said I picked up a beer can, and she said, well, what kind of beer can? I said, CL Smooth. She's like, what? Colorado Kool-Aid. She's like, what? It's like the Blue Mountains. What?
What?
Coors Light.
Coors Light.
Golden, Colorado.
It always amazes me how he can build these rigs to do this. It's quite incredible.
All right, we just tied back in to the bypass trail, so now we can keep going. That sure is pretty cool.
Como Lake. Beautiful green. I don't know if you guys could see that emerald green.
Look at that. It's so green.
Should we take a dip?
It's probably cold. I mean, there is snow right there. Oh yeah. That's got to be like right at freezing.
It's nice.
Oh yeah, that's why. You think it's nice? Shanna in her off-road sandals and glacial water.
It's good for your nervous system. It's what you gotta do.
Thinking about jumping in my skivvies, but it's a good thing I didn't. Swimming in this thing. Just have 3 side-by-sides rolling. I don't know if I'd have been more embarrassed or they'd have been more embarrassed. Probably them. Well, it turns out the side-by-sides were fans of the channel, and they hadn't been on Poughkeepsie yet, and they're coming down it. I gave them a heads up that if they go to the left, they're gonna be taking some legit obstacles. Either way, that's a really pretty lake, Lake Como. There is more than one Lake Como in Colorado. There's a lot of Lake Comos all over this country, so I don't know who the dude's name that was Como that got to just walk around and name everything Como, but there's a bunch of them.
And it's pretty.
It is pretty. And it's very green. It's got kind of like an emerald green. I love the mountain lakes here in Colorado for that color. I know they're like that up in like Banff and stuff too in Canada. I'm kind of curious what makes it green. Do you guys know why it gets that color green? I'd be curious to know, because it seems like it's only up in the mountains where you see that. Anyway, if you know, let me know down there. Shoot a comment. Love the comments. I read through the comments. Whistle pig. Old whistle pig on a sprint run. So we just came off Poughkeepsie. If you take a left, you're gonna go on California Pass, which will take you to Animas Forks. If you guys watched the other Colorado video where we did the Alpine Loop and broke it open, then you'll see where we went to Animas Forks. In fact, I'm gonna share a picture with you right here from when I was a little kid with my family. My parents took me up here. It was really, really fun. My dad loved off-roading and checking out old mines and old mining communities. And if you take a right, which is the way we're gonna take, it takes you down to Corkscrew Gulch, which will take you over Hurricane Pass, which I think over here you would actually call it Hurricane and not Hurricane, but I think Hurricane is just limited to Hurricane, Utah. And I will tell you right now that those couple of obstacles are pretty legit. Like I said, I still think I could take my JK with an open front diff and 35s on it. You're just gonna have to try a little harder. And the rocks are kind of slick on those obstacles, so you're probably gonna have to give it just a little more goose than you think you would for Colorado rocks. Look at that view.
It's God's country right there.
I'll tell you right now, the camera will never do justice for how pretty this is. So if you guys got a vehicle, whether it's a Jeep or anything that's 4-wheel drive, you really should come out here and experience some of this stuff. We just made it up to the top of Hurricane Pass, and it is at it's 12,730 feet, and a bunch of people are up here actually taking pictures of it because it's pretty cool. Check this view out, other side of the pass. Man, oh man. We are gonna take a little break and get some water. See some old snowmobile tracks on that, man. Look at this. This is gorgeous. And this camera's gonna fade out all this shot, but that is great. Did you get me a water too?
I got 2 for
Waters. And right here, we came up on another mine. How can I tell? Rusty ore tailings pile. Oh yeah. Hello. I'll send you in and see what you can see. That's one of those situations where you hold onto the camera for dear life. I don't know how well you can see that, but that is just epic. Just mountains as far as you can see. Red Mountain. Little Swiss of America, little Swiss Alps of America out there. Did I find a side hole into the mine? No. Maybe. There's some trash I don't pick up. Hanes underwear, you know what that means.
Ew.
Gross, dude.
Ew.
Bring some toilet paper. I mean, if you've given up your underwear, that means you've probably already given up your socks and a shirt sleeve.
That's so icky.
Michael Jordan would not be proud of you at that moment.
Nothing, man. I can get so low in these.
That's a throwback, if you remember them commercials. So I might have to do a little research on Corkscrew Gulch. I believe it's called Corkscrew because it corkscrews down the mountain. It just zigzags back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all the way down the mountain. Maybe a corkscrew mill or something like that, that I might have to do a little research on and find some history for myself, because I don't normally go this way when I'm out here. And Shanna's driving.
Just a Sunday drive, that's all. On the side of a mountain.
Just a cliff. Just a cliff. Corkscrew Gulch is actually a pretty smooth dirt road here. It's not anything too challenging. Any vehicle that has four-wheel drive, potentially even all-wheel drive, I think could probably run most of this. But it's definitely getting later in the morning because we are getting loaded in with Jeeps. This is probably Jeep number 17 that's headed into the trail as we're headed out. In case you're wondering too, I would say 1 in 20 rigs out here know the etiquette of off-roading. Technically, the person going uphill has the right of way. I always take that with a grain of salt if it's like a super steep hill where somebody's gonna have no chance of backing up it. But in this case, everybody is waiting for us to pull off and then coming down the hill around us. So I think that's kind of interesting. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but on top of the one peak here is like a big refractor thing for, I think it's to like send signals. I don't even know if it can make it out in the camera or not, but it's actually probably huge. It looks tiny from here, but it's a ways out there. So all those Jeeps coming down, and then here's a Toyota that pulls over that understands the etiquette of the road when you're going uphill.
Thank you, Mr. Guy.
4Runner knows that, and all the Jeep Wranglers didn't. Switchback. Look at how red Red Mountain is. Say it's extra red today.
Matches my necklace.
Matches her necklace. Now, a lot of that has to do with the mineral deposits, the iron, the ore, things like that that are rusting and creating that color. But did you know that Colorado is actually native for red dirt? That's actually what it means. So it's kind of funny that like Moab's always known for having the red rock, but Colorado has a lot of red rock too. And yeah, going to the cliff edge. Good thing this thing has good brakes.
Yeah. Long way down.
Today's trail snack is Archer's beef sticks. So we got these from Sam's. I think they're pretty good. I've had them before. You guys like these? You ever had them?
They're yummy. Grass-fed.
Beefy sticks.
Zero sugar.
Pretty good.
Have a bite.
Nope. Okay.
Thank you. He does love me.
What's that?
So the local counties get together and they open up these roads. You can tell how bad that road is. That had a lot of avalanche debris that they went in here and bulldozed it out to keep this road open, which is pretty cool. Back in tree line. So we're here at Black Bear Pass. We're gonna find out right now if Black Bear Pass is tougher or Poughkeepsie was tougher. Let's start head up the trail. This trail is still probably the most dangerous trail out here by far. My dad used to tell me about times when they were allowed to drive up Black Bear. Black Bear Pass is a one-way trail going down. The last time Shanna and I were on here together, we had a little bit of a disaster, and that was kind of crazy. And it only happened because Matt doesn't get up early, and we had a freak rainstorm that came in the afternoon. But if we would have left at the time we were supposed to leave, we'd have never seen any of it. All the rocks going down the hill were crazy nuts. It was nuts. It was by far one of the scariest adventures you could probably have on a trail. You know, I've been in a lot of mountain situations, so I wasn't overly worried about it, but I just knew that we were probably going to get stuck up there, and like we did with everybody else, we got stuck up there. Also, this trail gets really steep, and even though you probably don't need 4-low for the beginning, you probably should put it in there, and that's going to save your transmission. Now, the difference between where we started this morning and this one is we are already at 11,700 feet. If you can't tell, we're already at tree line here. Like, it's gone. All you have is beautiful waterfalls and some tundra. And flowers. Can't forget all the pretty wildflowers. I do like the wildflowers in the mountains for sure. Now, the thing about this trail is it is a lot narrower than most of the trails out here in the Alpine Loop. So you actually do have to pay attention to where you're driving. And I am way stoked on being up here on Black Bear because, like I said at the beginning of this video, I didn't think that they were going to open it at all this year. They had so many issues with people coming up here when they weren't supposed to and getting stuck and everything else that I was sure they weren't going to open it. So I'm really excited that it's open and that it's only been open for under 24 hours and we're on it right now. We were just on the other side of that. As we came right over Red Mountain. And this is a pretty trail. All right, for Black Bear Pass, trail snacks are dried mangoes from Natural Grocers. If you have dried mangoes, these guys make the best ones. I'm just telling you right now, these are by far the best dried mangoes you can get. Prove me wrong. Tell me there's ones better.
I support that statement.
I am kind of a mango connoisseur. Summit.
My goodness.
So we just went ahead and shot through that summit. There is a huge group of Jeepers there. So we're gonna let them enjoy the summit and we're just gonna keep going on down to the good stuff. Look at this view though. Black Bear Pass was put in to get in between Telluride and Silverton, it was basically just a pass-through for all the gold miners of their time. I think gold miners and probably trappers too. I think some trappers were probably out here getting them furs. We caught up to some more Jeeps. We got here in the afternoon. Everybody wakes up to do the trail in the afternoon. Such a pretty trail. Everybody's out here and enjoying it. You want to go sledding, Shanna?
Yes.
Should we have brought the sleds?
Yes. Or a piece of cardboard.
We
That
do.
works, too.
We could do the cooler.
Ooh.
A cooler run.
Let's do it.
All right, and this is where the one-way starts. Once you step into here, you're committed. No turning back now. So one of my favorite flowers in Colorado is the columbine, and check it out. It's actually the state flower, and what's cool is you'll find them in different colors. Like there'll be purples and blues, and I've seen some really dark ones that are like almost like a dark violet, almost black, and I've seen ones that are like as bright as just white, you know. So it's kind of cool to see all the different colors of that same flower, how it kind of transgresses depending on where it grows, I guess. I don't know. Not to totally nerd you out on flowers, but this flower right here is called an elephant head flower. And I'll put a picture up so you can see it, but it is super cool, and I think they might be native to Colorado even. I only see them in the high country out here in Colorado. This trail is deceiving because right when you hit the one-way is when it gets rough. I mean, we're dropping off some good little ledges. You can see what we're doing here. We're just getting shook around. You could still do it. Gravity's in your favor. I've done it in a stock JK, but you got to pick your lines. Oh yeah.
Someone's coming
No,
down.
we're going down. They're going down. I was like, looked like somebody's coming up there for a minute.
Wait a second.
We're getting into a couple switchbacks. This is what this trail is known for right here. We're about to get into some good stuff. And if you guys are familiar with any of the wrecks out here, there's been a few rollovers right down in here. And a lot of that is to do with there's a little bit of off-camber drop-in. So every time somebody drops in, it gets a little more dug out, a little more dug out. And then you have these off-camber spots that if people don't pay attention and set your tires right, it'll unload the back end and then flop you into that creek. We're coming up on one right now. Okay, look at this. Yoinkers. Ooh, that was close. That was a tight spot. These ledges don't give you any feel goods because you got this and this. Now look at this. That's legit. Water running. Death-defying edge drop. Gotta be one of the most dangerous trails in the country, for sure. All right, that is a hair-raising section. There are a couple nasty side hill drops, and then you got the cliff edge drop. A lot of people mess up in those areas. Where people continue to mess up, where the latest ones have happened, is because then they get lackadaisic into the next section. And see, these switchbacks are tight. Not only do I have park, I put the truck in park, but I put my emergency brake on too, and I have my line lock. So I line lock it, which is putting your foot on the brake, and then you turn the lock and it holds pressure on your rear brakes. So that way I have all of my bases covered. This is Ingram Falls, and it is absolutely beautiful. This poor mill gets worse and worse every time I come out here. It just gets beat up by the snow in the winter. And I know I've mentioned this before, but that is absolutely why I love recording and filming these things, because that way we just have a record of it, man. I think we get as much record of it as we can, because if that mill doesn't ever get worked on, there's not going to be a lot left of it for our kids' kids to ever check out. Granted, they might be in hover cars, so they could just hover over stuff, look at it stuff anyway, I don't know. There's the town of Telluride, and there's death.
It's breathtaking, honestly.
If you look here too, see how they've worked up the road. That's how bad this road gets beat down from time to time. And if you have a fear of heights, you don't want to do this trail. This is your first real switchback, and it is tight. This is probably one of the tightest ones that you could ever have. So this switchback changes year to year, and it is tight this year. It is definitely tighter. It's about as tight as it was the first time I ever did this trail.
Oh, pulling tire. Oh. Yeah, baby.
before you stop? All the way to the edge?
I don't see an edge.
I don't either.
All right, now we're at the power mill, and we are where the one-way ended. See the sign right there? That means that this is a two-way, so you can come up to this point from Telluride.
Now, we've been talking about opening up all these trails and where places where they definitely had to fix the road just to make it drivable. This is one of those guys. This is Keegan, and he does this for a living. How rad is that? You probably got one of the coolest jobs on the planet, in my opinion.
It's not bad.
It's probably got to be pricey to live around here.
Oh, yeah, it is. it costs a bit.
Yeah. It's a love thing for sure.
Yeah.
But how could you not love this? Yeah. So, super cool. We are allowed to hike through here. Now, they gave us permission to hike through here today. I don't know if you're always allowed to hike through here, so I'm like way amped about this. I have never been able to hike over here. We can go over here, look at the powerhouse over here, and see exactly how rad it is up close.
You have long legs to keep up with going uphill.
At altitude?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the water right there that feeds Bridal Veil Falls. And here is one of the old cable trolleys. Yeah. You want to zip line that? That'd be steep. Here's another fun fact for you. Did you know Nikola Tesla, not Tesla the car company, but Nikola Tesla built the hydroelectric water power for Telluride, and it still powers it to this day.
Hey, your rig is pretty sick, man.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that thing's cool.
Appreciate it. Look at the falls up there. Ciao. When Shannon and I were here 3 or 4 years ago and we had that flash flood, this entire mountain where the Via Ferrata hiking trail is was just loaded with water. There was waterfalls there, just running down the whole side of this mountain, all down in there, and just completely washed out the roads to where it got gnarly. And it actually did get gnarly. It was fun for me, but it was still gnarly. And Keegan was actually one of the guys that came up to clear the road out for everybody to get back on, like, just to get back home. He had 8 guys up here working that he had to come get anyway.
Fun fact for you, actually, we just met Keegan, and seems like his dad and my dad served on search and rescue together years and years ago. I thought that was pretty cool.
So, just got a little inside scoop that Imogene is open as well. We have to pick a pass to come back over the mountain, whether it's Ophir or Imogen. I think we're gonna maybe take Imogene just for grins, because, well, why not? I don't know, we'll see. I'm excited to get down the hill. There's a lot of good restaurants in Telluride, so I like going down there and eating. This guy's got an electric bike for sure. You cannot pedal like a champ like that.
How it's done.
Even had his music going.
The rock.
Pedal pumps. Pump, pump, pedal, pump, pump, pedal. There's an old rail car right there. You can see where the old mine was, where the rail car goes in. And there is Bridal Veil Falls. We're gonna be able to go down and park at the base of it, and we'll walk over and I'll show you guys some cool stuff about it, actually, because it is a super neat waterfall that feeds Telluride. This trail is just switchback after switchback after switchback. It's just tons and tons of switchbacks and backups. And even Keegan said that They made them really tight this year. It might have been intentional, but they did it with a skid steer instead of a dozer. So that's why it's so tight. I was like, man, this is as tight as it was when I was young. And you know, last few times I've been down here, you could take a full-size rig in it. It ain't like that right now.
Joke of the trail time.
What do you got?
What does a cake and a baseball player both need?
What does a cake and a baseball player both need?
Yes.
Coach and a catcher? I don't know. I have no idea.
A batter.
A what?
A batter.
Batter.
A batter. I got him.
You got me.
Yes. Did you know the other day I was looking for camouflage pants, but I couldn't find them?
You couldn't find them.
Okay, that's all.
This water is loud because it's running pretty hard. You can actually feel the water spraying us way out here. There's a bunch of Bridal Veil Falls too, Wyoming, California, everything else, but Bridal Veil Falls in Colorado is the tallest waterfall in Colorado. And if it's like it used to be, we'll get up in the base of the waterfall and the water's all green right there too. That sucker is raging. Oh yeah, I'm already getting soaked. Look at that. Woo! It's even windy right here because of so much downforce. The shadow's on it, but it's definitely green water. Oh, be careful. All the rocks are wet here. I mean, look at that. Oh, yeah. We're in it now. Woo. I'm getting so drenched. I don't know if you can see that mega mister. I think I'm gonna stick my head in it. At least my soaked pants will dry off quick. Whew. We're gonna try to get a picture in this. I don't think it's gonna work. Oh man, it's a good thing I got Duluth pants on. Not sponsored by Duluth at all, but they are just magical pants. My magic purse pants that hold everything. They'll dry out quick. Everybody else is standing down there. They think we're crazy. Oh. Look at that. Rad. So, just got back in the truck, ran into a whole bunch of Jeeps here, and they are actually fans of the channel, so it ended up being pretty cool. So we talked for a little bit, and now we're headed down the mountain into Telluride. Still got a few more switchbacks though, just nothing as bad. Right here's where we sat and ate our lunch because the road was completely washed out right here. Looks like it still takes some abuse every now and again. Welcome to the town of Telluride. Bluegrass Festival place for show. Some of you guys might know this and some of you might not, but Steve Martin actually has a bluegrass band, and they have a bluegrass festival here in Telluride, and sometimes he comes out with his band and plays it. not too bad. Ooh, Aston Martin. Very cool. All right, you're gonna get a little bonus trail. We're gonna run up some of the Imogene. Goodbye, Telluride. So we went 32 miles on Onyx. It took us a little over 6 hours, and we averaged about 5 miles an hour. Went from 8,800 feet to 12,800 feet, and then back down to 8,800 feet again, basically. So we appreciate you guys watching. We hope you enjoyed this. I would say if we were gonna compare the two, Poughkeepsie is probably a little more technical, but I'd still say Black Bear is way more deadly, and if you mess up, you're messing up bad. I don't know. You guys decide. Let us know what you think. But that's kind of how I feel about it. I'd say Poughkeepsie's tougher, Black Bear's deadlier, but Black Bear could be pretty darn tough if you had to drive up it. So, your choice. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Bye-bye.
I like Black Bear.